As you may have noticed, Mr. H is not here today. I'm a bit under the weather. You might be able to hear it in my voice. But that's okay. I'm leaving this screencast to help guide you through what it is that you are going to be doing today. Starts off, as always, the do now. Take a moment and answer those three questions in the do now for the day. If you want, you can pause the video at this point to answer those do now questions, and I'll wait until you get back. Excellent. So now that you are back with us, the documents you are going to need: the tectonic tour. You do not have any home learning, although next class period is when this tectonic tour is going to be due. So if you want to work on it, you could change that no home learning to working a little bit on it. If you do have questions about what's going on, or to see if you're on the right track, send me an email, please. And I will be checking my email probably throughout the course of the day tomorrow and try to answer as much as you can. Otherwise, we'll take a look at them on Wednesday when I get back, and we can take a look and see how people are progressing with that. So, looking at the do now, question number 1 says, what plate boundary type would you have earthquakes but no volcanoes forming? The proper answer we were looking for would probably be a transform boundary, because there's no volcanoes that form there, but there still are earthquakes. Number 2, which layer of the earth is most dense? That would be the core. And number 3, if convection in the mantle stopped, how would this affect natural disasters? Well, at least earthquakes and volcanoes probably would start ceasing, if not be eliminated altogether, because there's no movement of the plates. If there's no convection, therefore none of those things would be able to take place. So, as far as today goes, thank you to those that did turn in their yummy plate boundary redo. Your scores will be up. Mr. H will grade those actually today, and get those into the grade book, and you could see how you did for that. If you didn't do the yummy plate boundary, sorry, you missed your opportunity. And the next time you'll be able to try to improve your score is going to be on the test. Speaking of which, next week is going to be our geology test. So there will be a review day that we'd have before the actual test is given, and a review sheet that comes out. But make sure that you're keeping up to date rather, with all of these questions, these concepts, and the vocab. And then finally, today we are going to be taking the entirety of the class period to work on that tectonic tour. Only one know it, and you should be able to use evidence to explain how plates move and shift. That's, again, what we've been talking about all along. No new vocab with it. Starting off, as always, 3 something cools. The first something cool has to do with the element copper. Copper's got all sorts of wonderful properties. It conducts electricity very well, to state one. But a really cool fact about it is copper is actually a very good antiseptic. It kills a lot of bacteria and even viruses. It can kill a lot of viruses as well, simply because when it comes in contact with these pathogens, it basically is able to rip apart their outsides. Without getting into how that does it, it's pretty sweet. It just happens due to something called ions. And we've known about copper for a really long time. In fact, ancient Egyptians, a lot of their medical instruments that they used were made out of copper to help keep infection from happening. And it's also a known fact that people that used copper weapons, like the Egyptians and the Babylonians, whenever they would sharpen their bronze or copper swords for battle, they would collect all of the filings and then put those copper filings into whatever wounds they had after the end of the battle, and to help keep them from getting infected and help them to heal faster. So that's pretty sweet. Second, something cool, this device right here is something called the Ka-Link. And you basically stick it on the end of a tailpipe. It could go on a motorcycle, it can go on a truck, it doesn't matter what it is. But what happens is it's a type of muffler extension that allows the gases to escape, but it collects a lot of the soot that normally would come out the end of a tailpipe. So all of this soot, all of this ash is basically collected, and then you can take that and turn it into ink, either paper ink for like printers or even to put it into pens as well. It's rather fascinating. You can look at it online if you're interested and see how exactly they do it. But it's a really good use of an invention, or a cool invention that helps make use of something that otherwise would be waste and polluting our atmosphere. Third, something cool. If any of you have ever seen the damage that a hand grenade can do on land, you might be surprised to know that you're actually less likely to survive a hand grenade explosion if it goes off underwater. And this is the reason why. So on the right, there's an explosion of the hand grenade. And you could see these balloons on the left side basically get all warped and crazy, deflated and shrinked up and all of that jazz. So what's happening is that when this explosion takes place underwater, the water gets pushed out of the way by these exploding gases, which very quickly get collapsed back into themselves. It's called cavitation. It's due to the formation of a vacuum. But when that happens, it pushes out from the explosion, which causes the balloons themselves to move. But then when the cavitation takes place, it causes a very quick decrease in pressure, which basically causes all of the balloons to shrink down very, very rapidly. So why is this important? Well, if you were anywhere near an exploding hand grenade underwater, those are basically what your lungs would look like. Your lungs would basically implode because of these differences in pressure. So, better to take a hand grenade on land or underwater? We'll go with on land. Now, as far as today goes, you are going to be working on your tectonic tour. Once again, in classroom, Mr. H, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's get back to it. There it goes. The document you're looking at is this one again. Once more, don't worry about the ACE paragraph yet. You're still just trying to find the different locations and give good evidence for why each of those locations would be a prime candidate for proving that plate tectonics is taking place. Again, any of those 6 that you have up above, you're trying to find spots that have those different activities taking place. So you're working on that today at your table on your own if you want to have your headphones in. As long as it's not the internet, actually I don't even know if you're allowed to use your headphones. I'm not entirely sure. Let's go for safety's sake. Let's just say so Mr. Garber doesn't come in and say, turn off your headphones. Let's say no headphones while you're working in there. Halfway through the period, you can ask the sub. She might allow, or he might allow you to move around the room so you're not just sitting in the same place the whole time. Again, if you do have any questions about what's going on with this, I will be checking my email, so send me an email. And I'll do my best to answer those as quickly as I can. Check out In Classroom. There's a link that was posted with all of the earthquake and volcano discovery. I think this is actually the link, the same one that you have. Feel free to use that, and also the KMZ files up above. Play around with some of those if you want on the tour itself to help prove your point. Don't forget, you do need pictures at each of these locations, and it's not just a screenshot of the picture, but you can take a screenshot of a plate map or the volcanoes, earthquakes site, or is it this one? You could take a screenshot of your location that helps to prove that a volcano is erupting in that location, or find more information or pictures off of the Googles, and you can use those in your presentation as well. Again, work hard today. If you do have questions, send me any of those via email, and again, I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, I will see you hopefully on Wednesday. Good luck.